This is Matt from the Dice of the Round Table. Thanks for checking in on this video. Please subscribe to the channel. Like the video if you appreciate the content. Questions, comments, anything below, go ahead and drop that below. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. And let's get to this video. This one is a battle report, but done through, as you can see, pictures. I'm going to do it through pictures because we were at a game store and we got some pictures, and I just wanted to do a video recap, see how this goes versus a full video. So what we have here is, it was a German versus Americans. The scenario is from the Bold Action Second Edition of book, and it was hold until relieved. And the Americans were the defender, and the Germans, who I was playing as, were the attackers. What you have in the pictures here are, this is the American medium mortar established here, and for reference, the medium mortar is behind this building over here. The spotter is right here. This is some setup pictures. The Americans set up their lieutenant behind the objective building, which was this one, and they put their regular American squad in the woods here next to the objective, where I started with a sniper team in the building, and off the board here there was one infantry team that moved up this way. There was an infantry team here, infantry team here, mortar was over here, my spotter was in this building, lieutenant was about here, another infantry squad there, I had my anti-tank rifle back here, and I think that was everything. And the goal of this was to secure this, have infantry miles within 3 inches of this building, and no enemy infantry within 3 inches. So during turn 1, we got some pins that were put on to this squad that was in the woods. The infantry team moved up here, anti-tank team went into the building, into this building with the spotter went an infantry team. The paratroopers for the Americans came on, deployed. I don't think I can get a good picture onto the table, as well as the ranger team did show up as, oh no, I'm sorry, the medium mortar didn't start on the table. It was moved on. That was the first wave. The paratroopers and the mortar were first wave. And so that's kind of what happened. Turn 2, we had the reserve start showing up. So this was a veteran Sherman 76 tank. This was all kitted out. This was major points. You can see a good shot of the lieutenant here. The infantry squad was here. By this time, this was the only one for turn 2. There was some shooting. The tank had a good bead on the building where I actually put an infantry team and the sniper team. The tank tried to shoot the sniper team and did not do well in that role. Turn 3, we saw the tank move up. The back end of the tank actually had just perfect. I actually had it with the anti-tank team getting a shot into the rear quarter. This does not do justice, but we actually laser lined it, and the anti-tank team saw the rear of the tank. So the tank actually was being threatened, because as a veteran it shouldn't have been able to receive pins unless I could hurt it. The only way I could hurt it was side shots, because this is a +2 penetration. The American regulars moved out of the woods to secure a position behind the tank. And as you can see over here, I had my lieutenant move up to the woods. I had a infantry team move up behind the objective house. The rangers had shown up and actually kind of got bogged down because their line of fire was behind this bush and it was being blocked by the Americans, so they couldn't get any pot shots off really anywhere because they couldn't shoot through the woods. Their only shot was this lone guy sitting out behind the building, and that didn't result in much. This turn saw the loss of the sniper team because the Sherman started shooting the building and started decimating units in there. And next turn, was it 3, I think, or 4, they took out the sniper, and then they took out the team that moved in below the house. At the same time, I had this infantry moving up. They had a Panzerfaust, so it was getting a little concerning for the tank at that point. And some infantry were moving on as a flanking position. Mortars were hit or miss. My mortar actually did get the regular Americans at least once. So on this turn, we have some movement going on. So my infantry had swept up around this house and got in position and was able to Panzerfaust the tank. The squad that moved up here did in fact try and failed their hit roll. The paratroopers were moving up, as you can see here. My Stu-42 finally showed up with the medium howitzer. We'll talk about that in a minute. And this shot right here is literally the one where they Panzerfaust and then took their shots at the veteran paratroopers. So it was really nice. I rolled and destroyed the tank. That took it out. The tank ended up taking out a sniper and one squad of 5 grenadiers. So definitely did not get its points back, but it was a major threat. I was working to ignore it because I was focusing as much fire as possible onto the regular infantry squad, trying to eliminate them, and they just would not be eliminated. And some shots and pins on the paratroopers, which was very, very important. As you can see, this was 3 SMGs in this paratrooper squad with the support of about 3 rifles. And they did eventually, on their shooting as they moved up, got a pin here. On the 5th turn, not much is shown here, but the Stu-42 was taking some howitzer shots at the paratroopers and was not hitting. However, the key on this phase was the paratroopers tried to assault my 3 grenadiers because they finally did get hit with American mortar. And that was important because the paratroopers had 1 pin. They failed their order check, so they were not charging. They were attempting to charge in, and it was a failed attempt, which left them out in the open for a follow-up shot on this turn with the medium mortar howitzer, which actually did hit from my tank and decimated the squad. Took out 5 of the 6 guys, leaving 1 who failed their staying behind their morale order check. So that squad got decimated and gone. So at this point, I had my lieutenant up here at the building. The squad that was behind was in the building. This was the squad I had moved up into the house, now moved out of the house by the spotter. The Rangers were about here. There was a couple American regulars behind the building. So this squad was laying down fire into the Ranger squad. But in the end, this was the final picture. I had 1 LMG left from the 1 squad, 3 men left on the other squad that took out the Panzerfaust. My lieutenant was back here, just out of shot. We had, the Germans had eliminated every unit except for this 1 U.S. Ranger who had like 4 or 5 pins on him, and the mortar team. So it ended up being a draw because I could not eliminate this last figure. I did pour everything I could except for the one in the house. Looking back, I went down because there were 2 guys and I was trying to preserve the unit. I should have let them shoot and take the risk because I already had 2 units of infantry that were secured at the building, and they weren't going to take it. If it was secure the building and be in it, I would have won that way, but I didn't play the objective well because I should have taken the extra 5 shots. Even with the 1 pin, there was a good chance that at least one of them were going to get through. But either way, this is the battle report. Thanks for making to the end. I hope it worked out. Follow the explanation. I hope it was helpful or whatever it is. So that was the battle report. This was done through pictures. I hope it was as effective. It should have been a little bit quicker than a typical recorded battle report. This was a really great game. I had a great opponent. The list did present some interesting challenges. My list was 4 infantry units of literally just the minimum 5, 1 LMG, 1 Panzerfaust each, all rifles. First lieutenant with rifle and aid, medium mortar with spotter, a regular stew, regular anti-tank rifle team, a veteran sniper team, and that's what I took out. They had a ranger team with 2 bars. They had an American regular infantry, veteran paratroopers with 3 SMGs, 3 rifles, medium mortar, and then that veteran M1A1 76mm vet tank. So it was at Gamer Corp. Shout out to them. I appreciate the space. It was really good. All that terrain was provided by the store. So I know the hex grids kind of go against the pre-measuring or the square grid, but it is what they had on the table. But the terrain was 3D printed, some of it painted, and all the house roofs were removable, all the floors were removable. It was a really great table to play on. And thanks for watching.